Thumbs up, thank you.
Yeah, just come in and just don't disturb people.
Okay. Can I interrupt your nice? Yeah. Good start. Okay, my name is Knut Yrvin. I'm community manager at Qt at Nokia. It's called Qt Development Framework. Long story. We're able to keep the Qt in there, and most of you know it. Is it somebody here who hasn't heard about Qt? Which is totally new for, hey, I've seen you before. Nice to meet you. So that's well known. So what I will do is a different angle than we usually do. We try to convince people using Qt. But now we will look at what KDE contributes to Qt. And unfortunately, I can't do the whole story. So I took some selections of what Claudia and Augustine and Aaron gave me. It was 18 slides. I will take a part of that. But it will also show considerable part of statistics, because Qt was open for contribution a couple of years ago with the LGPL license. I won't go into the details there. I'll just point out that this slide set is not solely made by me, but from input from the KDE developers and some from Robin in the community. But just to point out some things about my background, most of you have seen it before, but some of this is new. Basically states that I started back in '86 as a technical assistant in a phone switch. And it was the old school stuff, meaning that you are following the wires to the phone switch, and you can actually debug the errors by removing dust from the, what do you call them, the switch
contacts.
Thank you. And we had this, the most advanced thing was something called true looking, which from the one part of the central had this matrix of diodes. I hope I spell English correctly here. And you can guess or even give a correct assessment if there was enough space on the other side of the switch to get through, because it was limited how many could talk to each other to that switch. It might be 10,000 calling in, but only 1,000 that could talk together. Packet switching changed that. So I kind of went through this story about changing my, what do you call, label it, my engineering skills and my background totally. So that today we are working with this web KDE touch experience is totally different what I was educated for back in the days. Of course, I done a lot of education, had the best teachers. I was studying at the university where they invented object-oriented programming. I take no prisoner. I just believe in excellence, okay? So being here is because I believe in excellence. I will explain you why. But first, I have to just point out something. You know, being on TV, I have more fans on Facebook than Qt. That happened. And they are only, that's only Norwegians. But it looked really well on TV. And you know, it's really strange to restart this career. I was breakdancing and I won the Norwegian Championship in 1984, and just getting so much exposure has been quite a ride. But now it's kind of slowing down a little. I have to keep on practicing, and the good part is that new artists are coming and taking over. And I will imply that in what I'm talking about here and in the educational track. Because I'm 44, you know, my body does not take all the beating. So we have this Norwegian guy now, 10 years old. His name is Tord, and he's dancing, been inspired by one of the other in the final, that's called Amfinn. And he is excellent. He learned his craftsmanship in 7 months. And I think he is now excelling in the Norway Got Talent 2011. And he has, I think he now got 5 million hits on YouTube. I only had 350,000 beating everybody else, so I am kind of outwitted. And this is also about little bit this KDE contribution, and it is similarities in here which I will address through that experience that younger people can learn from the older and use that experience starting on another level. Can you see that? Which I kind of come from the telecom industry, not being always that fast anymore. I have a lot of relation. My job maybe is tutoring others to excel, being even better than I was at my peak. But I'm still look good, don't I? You don't need to give me applause. I'm over here in San Francisco, so relax. No hidden agenda. But okay, what I'm going to address is ongoing contributions to Qt, non-intuitive contributions actually, which you don't see in numbers. And I will look a little bit on the bigger picture. But first, a little bit about Qt for those who don't have seen the real core of it, because you have been so focusing on the KDE desktop and Linux, so you don't really see the other parts of it. And that's actually the cross-platform story where our greatest success maybe in a number of applications has been VLC and other applications that are used both on Linux but also on Windows and Mac. And the whole idea is write the application once and deploy it everywhere. Meaning for Nokia's part, which is just a small fraction of where Qt are used. On phones, on internet devices, desktop netbooks. But more importantly, for Qt's part, is that we are using tons of application from movie projectors at the digital 3D movie theaters to chicken incubators and coffee machines. Yeah. And in top 500 companies, I think everybody uses Qt somewhere. And in 70 different industries. We have from digital photo frames to Skype phone, to printers and HD TV and set-top boxes. And here is the whole width of Qt, which most people don't talk about. It's more than Linux, which is used in many industries. Because we also support several other operating systems, from QNX to Linux to Windows to Mac.
Do you have numbers about that?
The number of applications, or the number of OSs, or the number of industries?
The number of applications per operating system or per platform?
No, we don't have. We have, when you ask the customer, somebody says, "Oh, we want to expose ourselves." We have several of those. Why? Well, you're Nokia. Forget it. They don't tell that. So they are direct competitors. Others, they don't have time to do that work themselves. So what they do is to say, okay, here we have 5 sample applications, which is real application in practical use in industry. People pay for them. And they state, okay, we have those 5, the serious things, and we know that there's hundreds of others, or maybe thousands of others. So it's not a black and white picture, but most of the reason you don't give the numbers is that it's difficult to compute. And yes, we have thousands in our, Ovis store, but it's difficult, from that, deduct the sheer size of the use of Qt. We have tried, and we have guessed, but it's 10,000s of applications. I think it's one of the most used frameworks. It's a hidden secret. People don't know about it. But also, the job market is still growing. We have some statistics from Indeed. You can go there yourself, Indeed.com, put in Qt space C++, and you will see a steady growth of job offerings for students who consider learning a programming environment or a framework. It's really demand for Qt programmers, and it's still growing even after 2nd of February or 11th of February. But back to the main topic here, ongoing contribution, and I have a disclaimer. We have only looked at the 4.7 branch of Qt, meaning that we haven't looked at the next 4.8, which is in the works. You've probably seen it in a repository. We haven't looked at 4.5 or 4.6. So we took that as a scope, and we also have added input from KDE from Phonom because Robin, who had done the statistics, he didn't have time to look at the other repositories. So we include in Qt several other repositories. I will put that in here. And you remember, this is very early statistics. We haven't done all our quality checks on it yet, but we have it. This is one of the things we got. And this is the changes per top lines of changes in 2010. This KDE version 4.0, no, Qt KDE 4.7, sorry. And Nokia is just by far the biggest contributor. I wonder why. That will be explained. Then we have Dija, others, and Accenture, KDE, several other companies. Interestingly, we also have Lucasfilm. Pretty cool. Intel, oh, it's pretty cool. But they're not kind of a big contributor yet, but we hope that they will grow. Novell, yeah. Who is working for Novell here? KDE, yeah. Where are Flogig here? Where are you, Alex?
Who's under other? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe you are posting on a Gmail account or something. You're a bugger. You know, we should show that your company maybe contributes to Qt for bug reports, which is also not reflected here. Yeah.
So what was Digia's interest until this year when they got the commercial licensing? What was their interest in building in code?
They have tons of customers needing new features, new improvements in Qt. And it's kind of, oh, we have all these things in Qt, and we should add those things. It's natural, we have a process for that. Of course, that process is now in it works with open governance. We need to improve it. I know that Thiago, he will address those things. So I took everything about open governance and took it out. And he will talk about it, because he is the expert. I only quote him when I do these things. But I was the guy who coined democracy. So I take half the fame for all we can do effective free software development. And
where's KDE on this list? By
this
the way?
is interesting because
KDE is not an organization.
We're not organized. We are an organization.
That was whoa.
So for example, KDE there's coming from David. Right? So the question is whether there's a lot of overlap in there, that's KDE guys as well. And in that other, there are definitely some KDE.org email addresses as well.
Sure.
We didn't create a bundle for it.
Like Steve is in probably other, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't done a trick here because I asked.
Half of Nokia comes from KDE.
I asked Claudia Augustine, I asked Aaron Saido to give me facts. What does KDE do? And we have also some sort of repositories which we haven't kind of put together, okay? This is important because when doing statistics, you have to show what the basis of what you're showing is, and it's the Qt 4.7 repository on only that branch. And we have mobility, it's the Qt Creator, and it's also the Qt itself. But we add other repositories to Qt itself, other libraries, other things. So I asked those people to get this story, which include Phonom. As far as I know, we are working now on preparing even better statistics. The reason we do that, we want to have the numbers precisely in a scientific way, and not in a kind of, okay, here we assess the cross-reference of email addresses from the KDE repository together with the Qt repository, and then state, okay, this is also a KDE developer. Can you see that? And you have to do it anonymously, okay? So we don't break personal, how do you call it, privacy laws. So it's a lot of things making that statistics, because the only thing, the most interesting part is not really the individual contributor, it's actually the whole share of contributions. And this might seem little, 46K lines of code, but we have done some math on that too. So we I put the thing into the old school COCO model, which is just for demonstration purposes. This is also important. And it's several levels of things. You can do the organic, semi-detached, and it has some properties. And I guess that we are in embedded mode, basically, because it's pretty hard today to contribute to Qt. It's nothing you can really be a rookie developer to do in the first place. So, depending on which you do the semi-detached or embedded, you have some man year to present. I put also the numbers in here. You can do the same. And you can get man month. If you do the embedded, you get this number of man month, 526. If you do semi-attached, it's 316.
Shouldn't that be 46, not 64?
Yeah, right. Thank you. My mistake. So let's do that. And then hopefully this will compute. We count. There you get the number. The difficulty of doing this is very difficult to really say that this is man year, because it depends on the strength of the programmer, the knowledge and such. So I will not overemphasize on this. I will only say this is a kind of ballpark thing. Meaning, depending on which way you calculate this, is maybe 20 to 30 man years that is needed to do this kind of work. And it's, I think the number we got from Aaron and the gang et al., as it's called in academia, is that it's 23 persons who contribute to Qt in the Qt 4.7 version, which is pretty good. If it's 20 man to 30, depending on the calculation method, it's a huge endeavor. And I think you should applaud yourself for doing that. Thank you.
I have one other question about the numbers. So,
Okay.
so this is
Oh, sorry.
number of changed lines, right?
Yes.
So what's the size of Qt?
Qt is about 1 million lines of code.
So each line was changed 4
4
times.
times.
Well, it's also, remember, it's also documentation here.
No, I think that actually, did you add all of the projects there?
I have to ask, because this is a pre-early number when
No,
we
because
go into it.
it's 1 million lines of code.
Yes.
But that's just Qt. There's WebKit, there's Creator. We actually did also for mobility, and I'm not sure if he's including the
Creator is
demos
in,
example.
mobility is in, not other you said.
WebKit.
It's not in, and I asked for that especially, and I asked also for phonom, just to.
Yeah. Then it's definitely more than 1 million.
That's right. You know, it's huge.
I know.
It's not like back in the days when you can make a web browser in a weekend with it. Yes, you can today, actually.
Actually, that example hasn't changed.
No, that's because I have that. You're right. We had this browser with Netscape when they released something, and we made the Qt organization made a browser based on Qt. Yeah. They tried to find the binaries. Where is it? Okay, but that was a derailing the whole thing here. The KDE have that statistics, but we also go to external value as other systems. But not only that, we have technology contributions, Xquery and XPath. We have the phonom project, which you should be proud of, and has been under debate, I know, because of the way it might have been handled. And we also have the refinement, meaning that we have a lot of quality feedback, and both on design itself and new technology, but also on bug reports. Oh! Who turned on my phone? The point of having those things, which is not direct, new features or new things, but it's only providing quality feedback, is that you can provide developers a better product at the early stage, and it's done openly. But also from a marketing perspective, for instance, 30% of developers getting to know Qt, they heard about it through free software, And also a lot of people, they do exams, they learn Qt, and they can use it professionally. Which also spread the knowledge of Qt into the industry. So you have started in KDE, you're learning open source, you learn Qt, and you then take that to your workplace. And of course, you can't underestimate the value of having, from a marketing perspective, from a very business proprietary perspective, you have a rogue developer running around and screaming that your product is good. You know, for a lot of people doing traditional marketing, this is a shock. You know, having all of that enthusiasm. But when you see a developer are enthusiastic about KDE, they also learn about Qt, which is great. And look at the forum activity, which is fantastic. You know, whom has those such numbers? You know, this is incredible. Can't be underestimated. But the bigger picture, just to summarize the experience here, is KDE get a direct interface with many companies. Not only promoting it, but also getting new work done. And actually making maybe Migo offering a little bit more credible. But they also have provided access for Nokia into some of the Linux distributions. And not to forget, KDE was instrumental getting Qt accepted in Linux standard base. And also pushing accessibility as more important, and we still struggles with that, I know that. But focusing in importance, and also other document standards and other standard bodies. And of course, we have heard earlier today about the Google Summer of Code. Most interestingly, 1 out of 5 students remain contributing to KDE. Congratulations. Meaning that it's a way, you know, sometimes it's hard when you have a family and such to contribute to a volunteer project. Is something you have to have an extra interest in doing. So you can't expect everyone to contribute going forward, but it's a pretty good success rate, I would say. Usually you see a lot more people going away from the project when it's done voluntarily. And also national programs getting Qt in the door in education. And the reason for a lot of that is that KDE is perceived as a non-partisan, non-single corporate face. Can you see that? So when I'm talking, oh, you're Nokia, you have an agenda, and by the way, it costs us X thousands or 100,000 because you need to buy your phones, okay? Can you see that? So they always think that when they talk to you. But then KDE comes in and they say, well, we have one agenda: free culture, free software, and free use, the freedom in the free speech, free bear story. So when you come in, you're very clear on the agenda, but you can't say to represent a corporate or an economical agenda in general. You talk to independent people who are tied to something else. So you know whom you are talking to. So you can clearly see the agenda. This is really good. And of course, the educational deployment has been fantastic. Look to Brazil, states in Germany. You have the major city of Oslo. Yeah, I wonder why. And other places where KDE is winning the day. So in summary, you have contributed 2010, and it's more than 46K lines of code because it's other projects too. But it's also about refinement and quality. But I will actually, what we have focused on most in Qt is the outreach to developers, the chance we have for community marketing, which let people know Qt. And of course, being a part of Linux Standards Base has helped a lot. And I use this as a tagline: getting Qt in the door in whole states and nations, especially in education. Who can say that? It's not many who can put that, you know, oh, we dealt with the educational ministry of, or the Ministry of Education in Brazil, and they made this Linux educational, KDE as a standard desktop. That was basically my presentation. So it's considerable, is a British understatement, considerable KDE contributions to Qt. Sorry for my English knowledge. Questions and answers? Yes?
I think you forgot one, the most important
Yes.
contribution. And we talked about education earlier today, and I think one thing which open source projects in general do in a great way is they educate people. Basically, they create software developers. And KDE did that, I think, especially for Qt, in a very specific way. So we gave you the founder of KDE. We gave you the people who are running your development organizations.
Yeah, true.
So I think
this has been complained that we recruit too many.
Exactly. So this is really, I think this is a contribution which can't be underestimated, because people are really the key here. From KDE, I don't know how many people work for Nokia on Qt now, which started in KDE, which learned Qt.
I can't give you the exact number, but
I mean, that's immense.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, this should be on the top of the list of contributions.
Yeah, I underestimated, and we forgot that in our slides. We need to improve our slides at once. So you're right. Really good input. Yes.
Segue, a bit of a dangerous question, but with Cornelius and you and seeing considerable KDE contributions, not in the loop on these conversations or what's up to speed, but it's been discussed about putting all of KDE libs into Qt. That would be considerable.
Yeah, you
Where are we
got
at now with
46K of lines, but there are another 4 million or something sitting
Yeah,
around
where-
in the core repositories. I think
Is there an
KDE libs
update on
alone
those
is 1 million
discussions?
lines.
Let's discuss
But-
that during the mic off.
Yes. So, you know, the reason we have this presentation is to put words on what we are doing. It's not to have, this is important, it's not to have this kind of control or sponsorship control. You can do some measurement of influence in KDE. But I think, as you point out, the influence which is there is both ways, meaning by hiring people knowledgeable to free software methods. You don't need to use days and weeks to explain management, that why we can't do this openly. Maybe the manager is just open himself and he will say, let's do it because it works. And we can find around the licenses and such, and we put that correctly together. And we have been innovative in that space. For instance, the KDE Qt Free Foundation, which Rick Stallman now promotes. Who had thought about that? Yeah, he was, if you look at the story behind 10 years, he was really critical on the previous licenses Qt was launched under, and it was a time where they were afraid forking and a lot of things, which we still are. And this is this symbiosis, which is very difficult sometimes because you are KDE. This is important. You are self-governed. I have tried as a community manager not influencing KDE in my dealings with the organization in a way that make them believe that actually I decide. But of course, I will try to convince somebody. I'm not in my heart, but this balance of contributing and being independent, I think we have to investigate more by putting numbers on the equation and say something about it from a scientific point of view. If you can do that, you can actually also show people we should continue this beneficial cooperation. That was kind of my pledge to KDE, but it's also about independence and asking tough and difficult questions to make people excel and be even better. And you can't be better if you don't have people asking questions and other ways of doing things. If you make this into customer relation with Qt being a provider and the customer buys it, you get some type of feedback. but having this community relation, you get different kind of feedback with people that take no, sorry to say, you take no prisoner. You have a totally rogue way of saying things, which some will feel obnoxious, but sometimes you pull the envelope and think out of the box, which is great. Okay, should I prize KDE more?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Always. We can save some for the educational panel.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.